Pop Shop. The Pop Shop. So here we are at the Pop Shop, coming to you from the heart of Inglewood, and as I always say, the heart of Inglewood up to no good. And if you don't understand that, that's a you problem. I have my host with me today, Hadrian Carter.
Hadrian Carter, that's right.
Indestructible Hadrian Carter.
Indestructible. Coming from Detroit, from Atlanta, all the way to L.A.
L.A. until I needed him last night. And he fell asleep like an old man.
Yeah.
Knocked out on me 3 hours. 3 hours. Gone down for the count. So, so we're going to get right into this. This is podcast number 4. And on the March to 100, where it's going to be a very special day. But we're going to get there. So anyway, let's get right into it. What's happening? What's talking? So yesterday, the UAW, your dear UAW from the dirty D,
Yeah.
they decided they're gonna go on strike.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're saying that if this thing spreads, it could cause a contagion. Well, not contagion.
Irreparable damages.
Irreparable damages to the economy. So let's talk about that for a minute, man, because I think that's gonna affect. That's a lot of our people there. You know,
That's a lot of our people.
A lot of our people, man. You know, since you from Detroit, you know the history that Detroit has played and with the black middle class.
City.
Yeah, and like what that was growing up there, and
growing up there.
Yeah, you know, because it's very similar to what's like I was explaining with Milwaukee. You know, Milwaukee, the best thing, the most memorable thing about Milwaukee to me was the fact it was a middle class town. I mean, everybody pretty much was on the same tier. You know, you had a house, you took a vacation. You know, you could do things. You know, so there was a time, and what I'm hearing from the UAW, they're saying that the starting salary for the workers at the UAW back in like 30 years ago was $15.30.
How many years did you just say?
As they said about 30 years ago. I saw this guy, and today it's $15.70. The starting salary. Now, and I think that's what they're fighting against, because they're saying now the people who have been there, they're making money. But not money that they feel is comparable to what they contribute to the ultimate product, which I get, get.
And they contribute to that ultimate product. And
absolutely,
their time
man.
And their energy. And we're talking about overtime, 7 days a week.
Absolutely,
man. In most
man.
cases, they'll put them on overtime.
Absolutely, man. And I do like the fact that finally, to me in America, labor is starting to speak up. It's starting to flex. Yeah. Flex time.
Well, you got to think about why many people are feeling as if I make more money than my parents ever made, but I'm living a lower lifestyle.
Right.
Why is that? That's a question that people would like to know.
Right. So, and then a very uncomfortable conversation that the head of one of the big three, the woman, I think she runs GM, they asked her, they said, so you don't think it's fair you've gotten increases and 40%, and you don't think it's fair that the workers also get increases? And she sort of stumbled, but she makes $30 million.
And the question would be why?
Yeah, because then she flexed the very typical refrain of the 1%. Well, the numbers are based at my performance, and like I was telling people that I know, I was like, you could probably take them same numbers to justify why you should only make $5 million or $10 million. Kick back $15 million to the workers, or whatever.
You need to kick back something because the companies have made huge gains
during the pandemic, during the panini. They took huge concessions, man.
Yes,
and remember when they were about to go belly up during the Obama administration, and he came in and said, "Listen, we got to cut to the bone here because it ain't gonna happen."
Right.
And they took. I remember that. Yeah. They took concessions.
They took concessions, and then as far as pensions are concerned, they took those concessions and pretty much did away with that.
Hit me to that, because you were talking about.
I was talking about that earlier, is that from 2007, when they were in economic a free fall for those big three companies, they made sure that they took concessions for their employees, and the employees agreed to it to pull the companies out of the problems they were having. And as a result, those people who were there before 2007 they still had some pensions, but the ones who came in after that don't have
None, nada,
don't
nunca.
have it at all. So as a result,
See, that's cold to the bone. I didn't know that.
so as a result, now I'm thinking about what you said. If the starting salary is at $15.70 cents for 30 years, that's a big problem because they're also looking for a cost of living increase, which they haven't
Yes,
got.
yes,
So
yes,
they're
yes.
fighting for that, and they're asking for over, I think, a 5-year period. They're asking for 46%. So they want the initial 20 to start immediately, and then after that,
20
it's gonna
twin.
be 5.
Hit me off with that 20
5%.
twin.
They want it, but
And they
gotta-
wanted
they
it
gotta
like Lil Wayne said, I want an advance on that advance.
yeah, they want an advance on the advance. So they want to shoot for the stars for that, so they have something to negotiate down to. But,
Yeah,
so-
and which is
Yeah.
negotiating one-on-one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to.
absolutely.
But the main issue is they're looking at the pensions, they're looking at the cost of living increase, which they really don't seem. I don't really think they're going to get that because that will send those companies back into bankruptcy status.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is they're trying to find out where they're going to meet, but since they didn't make those concessions to figure out how they were going to appease the union, the strike happened because it didn't happen in time.
Yeah.
They gave them all the way until Thursday, and where are we now? They're striking because they want their demands heard. You can't live in a society like you think you should because the income isn't stretching.
No, and listen, we also live in a society where, the media plays a big part of telling you who and what you are and what you're worth.
Exactly.
So, if we seeing, balling out, to me, man, everything kind of went south when, I'm going to tell the truth, when they started saying on Christmas, you should get your loved one a Mercedes. I was like, who can afford a Mercedes as a Christmas gift? How many people can relate to that? An $85,000. It's like,
If your credit score allows it, you can get into that debt. If
you can,
want
yeah,
to.
right. You can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
You can pay monthly.
Yeah, I remember that though. If your loved one, and then to put the bow on the car, and to put the bow on the car, it was just like, to me, things began to go south, and it let you know, basically what you're worth, what you can do in terms of where you are in society. So yeah.
Basically, we have to see what's going to happen.
We got to see what's going to happen.
Biden administration, they're already involved. We'll see how this pans out. But Biden administration, basically, on what I read, they couldn't have stopped the strike at all.
No.
At all.
And to him, it's a bit of a sore point because he says, I'm a labor guy.
Yeah.
I'm a labor guy.
How long ago?
And and listen, but no, come on now.
Yes.
Look, that UPS strike, they were
stopped
involved in
that.
that. Yeah,
They
no,
stopped
they
that.
stepped up with that.
Yeah.
And people complain they make 170. They need to make 170 grand. All right, that ain't no easy shit, man. All right, that's a lot of boxes, a lot of squatting, a lot of moving, a lot of dog evading. It's
Well, I do.
I know. Here he comes the teacher.
I do
Here
agree
comes the
with
teacher.
that point. I do agree with that point. But then when you look at, you're making people go to school to get degrees and such, and if a person don't have to go to school, you can make more than someone who's degreed. And we're talking about not just a bachelor's degree. We're talking about master's degree, and you have them skipping over that.
Yeah.
Well,
but guess what? They should make more too.
Yeah,
All right.
should.
Like I say, they should make more too. It's there. You can't have a situation like we dealing with, man, where you got 15 families just sucking up all the all the resources. So yeah, so that's how I feel about it. I think that the workers and labor have a
them what
right.
they
Yeah,
want.
give them what they
Give 'em what
want.
they want.
Now that I'm gonna work 4, but you pay me for 5. Whew, I hope that. Damn, that's that's kind of that's bold. But if they can get it, whatever. I ain't mad at them. Now let's talk about what's happening. The fact that the government, in maybe 10 days, we may be looking at a damn shutdown. Okay, and that's gonna seriously put a cramp in a lot of people's game, a lot of people's what they're doing on a daily basis. And but it seems like they got everything in control because they're gonna put Hunter Biden in jail for some dick pics.
Is it just the dick pics?
Well, look,
or is it the fact that he was a crackhead and
Yeah,
he
thank you.
applied for
Right.
He purchased a weapon because that's what's getting him.
But
right
check it
now.
out. But here's the most interesting thing. the Republicans want to put him in jail for a gun charge. All of a sudden now they care about gun legislation. Yeah. They don't never. I mean, how many people got shot at Stormy in like little kids? Was
I know.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Stormview, whatever. Nothing. No movement.
No movement. But since a crackhead was able to buy a gun,
whose last name is Biden, this was an outrage. You know, it's like, and they're pissed because they're saying, well, we got him on the only thing that we're not really having because Biden isn't involved with it. Joe, we got to get Joe on it. We got to get Joe involved. So,
but my thing is, how many years has crack been out and you decide to be a crackhead now?
Right.
What the hell?
You're playing a game. It's okay.
You sure it wasn't the opioids?
You want me to win?
With that.
Playing your game, baby. You late to the game.
Late to the
game. So we got that going on. We also got Trump looks like he's getting real close to the fire down there in Georgia, and they're trying all they can do to push it to another course. But my girl Fannie with the nice fan. Oh no, I'm playing.
Nice Fannie. All right, I hear you.
Fannie but she putting a stop to that.
But even with that, Trump is still up in the polls over any.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But like I said, I don't know how truthful that is because I think once people see him convicted, they have to really ask themselves, can I vote for a criminal? A convicted criminal.
He's going to pardon himself.
Well, he could. He said he tried. He was thinking about it.
So what else is going on in the news?
So listen, we're going to talk about black folks having a remarkable run right now in the world of sports.
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk about Deion, but before we talk about Deion,
let's talk about
Coco. Let's talk about Coco with the Coco.
19, right?
19 years old, and I don't know if you saw the video of her dancing when she was like 8 years old when she was there cheering for Serena Williams.
I did not see that video.
Beautiful thing, beautiful moment, man. It was a real moment captured in time, and it just showed really the determination she had at such a young age. Like she knew one day she was going to be on that center court under the bright lights and the big stars.
And that's key. You manifest something.
There you go. Manifest. She, when she gave the speech, she said, I want to thank all the haters. And she said a lot of people doubted her. Like, well, that's not a big surprise.
Well, that's a good thing that did happen because in one of the articles that I read, they equated her to David and Goliath. She was David, and she was fighting against all the other sports stars who were above her caliber. And they looked at her and they said, well, she doesn't look like she's strong enough. But then what did she do? She went out there and she waxed her.
At 19.
Exactly.
At 19, yeah. It was very impressive. Now, she wasn't the youngest, was she? Or was she?
Well, I think she may have been the youngest.
Does anybody know when Serena?
Well, I'm talking about the youngest in this current event that she just took over.
Yeah.
She's the youngest, and she's
hey, look, right now,
insurmountable odds.
It's Coco Gauff's world, and we just in it.
We just in it.
Well, Coco and Deion.
Yes, talk about Deion.
Let's talk about the Deion phenomenon. Before we talk about that, I'm going to bring in a really good friend of mine, and his name is Robert Hackett. He's located in Texas. Robert, I'm going to let him explain, where he comes from, but Robert Hackett was a former trainer to Rose Bowl champions, UW-Madison Badgers, where I went to school, and he also was the trainer to the NBA championship Dallas Mavericks. So he has a pedigree. Now he's been working with youth sports for quite a while and in Texas. So Bobby Hackett, come on in here, man. Hackett, you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, good. Listen, Hack, just explain. Well, actually, you know what? I have to give an origin story here because Hackett and I, we go back almost, over 40-some, 50 years. And I first met Hackett because we went to junior high school to Golda Meir in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And this was the first year of integration that they brought integration back in the 70s. And what people don't realize, I know, man, I know, my bad, late 70s. No, my bad, 80s. So anyway, what people don't realize is the interesting thing about how when a lot of these schools began integration programs, you know, I met Hackett because I was on the bus. And, you know, people think it's bringing white and black kids together, but it was also bringing people from different communities together because I was already in an integrated community, but my mother wanted me to go to this school that she heard about. It was, you know, a specialty school, and it was mixing with different people from different socioeconomic classes, and, you know, so, you know, it wasn't so much me meeting white people with white students. It was like me mingling and integrating with other people from different, you know, different parts of the city that, you know, you come in contact with, but go to school on a daily basis. That was different. So anyway, me and Hackett, I was on the bus, man, and I was on the bus, and I was bragging to a kid on the bus to how fast I was, and Hackett out of nowhere stood up and said, "You ain't faster than me." And I said, Hackett stood up, and first of all, what made me a little scared, he had a perm. He had one of them Cat Williams perms back in the day, right? So we get on stage, we get to school, man. You know you had Cat Williams perm. Come on, man. That's what you had, man.
I know.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there.
I'm putting it out there, man. Let me finish my story, man. So anyway, we get on the playground, and I said, ain't no way this dude going, because first of all, he didn't have on tennis shoes. He had on them suede, you know, the suede. Heck, what you call them shoes, man? Because I had on yeah. I had on some pro kids.
He said penny loafers.
Yeah, no, it don't matter. By the time somebody said go, all I saw was that perm bobbing as he crossed like 10 feet ahead of me. I went home that night. I was so depressed, and my mother was like, "How was your first Jamaican? How your first day?" I said, "Mom." She said, "What?" I got beat by a dude with a perm. She said, "What do you mean he beat you?" No, I said, "In a race." "In a race, he beat you?" I said, and she said, "But wait, you're fast." I said, "I know, Mom. He's faster." So anyway, that was always a memorable thing. So Hackett, come on in here, man,
Yes, sir.
and explain to. And so what I'm gonna talk about, man, what everybody's talking about, the whole body in the country right now, is a Deion phenomenon, and to me, and I think there's just a well of pride that we feel, particularly men in our age range, you know, because for the longest, look how long it took us for us to become quarterbacks. Okay.
Yes.
Now you look at the amount of, to be honest, you can't even be a player in today's game in college unless you have a black quarterback or a white dude that moves like a black quarterback. All right, who has the ability to make with his arm and his feet. So come on in there, Hack. Talk to us. How do you feel the Deion phenomenon where it is? Give us your opinion.
I mean, we love it, right? Just like you said, we embrace it so much because we always had that, but we wasn't given opportunity. And the biggest thing, like with you know all the things out here on social media, and you know I get a lot of hits on stuff, but one of the big things that I see is that Deion is able to be Deion. You know, he's prime time. Can you imagine prime time with social media back in the 80s?
Right.
It was prime time.
Right. They wouldn't have had enough money in the NIL.
Wouldn't
They wouldn't have had enough money in it, right? So it's like, but the thing that's pleasing to all of us, because when we go to certain levels of quote unquote success in sport or in corporate America, we have to wear two different hats.
Right.
Deion is
code switching.
You know, yeah, cause we gotta, you know, because Deion allows him and his players to be who they are.
Yes.
And so, like it's funny because, because you know, and I guess we'll get to this, but like my daughter and them, they like when they get ready to compete, they're out there dancing. They're dancing around, having fun, and that's what Deion allowed his players to be themselves. And before, you had to have the mean mug face on. You can't be talking. Everybody's quiet on the bus. Them dudes having a party on the bus.
Yeah.
But they go out there and perform. And Deion is allowing them to do that. And that's something that we couldn't do. So Deion is just being who he's always been. but now it's magnified because he's at a Power 5. And when he wasn't at a Power 5, they wasn't looking at him. And the reason, to me, he wasn't a threat. Now he's a threat.
Right, he
and
was
I mean by being a
HBCU.
threat,
Yeah. And you know,
you over there, nobody, okay, cool, you win and whatever. But now he affects other people because it's like, oh, if you go to Colorado, you can just be who you are. The Travis Hunters, and them cats, like, I can dance before the game, and my coach ain't looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And he allows that because that's who they are.
Yeah.
And he's just taking the world by storm right now. But it's so wonderful to us because it's magnified on the highest level, and everybody gets to see it, and that's who he is. He's not changing who he is, but he still could have success, which is he's showing. And I mean, you hear it all, you see it all around, and it's like it's not, and there was a white guy I seen him tell something on social media, and it was a white guy, and he was like, it ain't black and white. He said, my son right now, I'm telling him to go to Colorado if he's a 5-star because he's able to win. He's in an environment where you have a lot of other professionals, people who won at the highest levels. Who else would you want to get taught by? Yeah. And Deion has created that environment for everybody. And now that's why I say he's a threat, because now he affects all the other private 5 schools. Because it's like Travis Hunter. It's like, who else would you want to teach or coach you? Somebody that's done what you're trying to do.
Right.
Nobody's done what Travis Hunter's trying to do other than Deion.
Right.
I mean, there might be 2 or 3 people out there, but Deion's done what Hunter is trying to do. I'm going to play both sides at a Power 5 school. Deion's done that.
Yeah, Deion
so
has.
We can talk to him about him.
Exactly. Deion has lived at least 4 lives. I mean, come on, man. This dude was an all-star. Easy Hack is my show. I'm playing. Calm down,
Take
buddy.
it over.
No, but Deion, I mean, come on, man. This dude was he was football. We all know without question he's the best cornerback to ever play the game. Then he moved into, that's his first life. Then he went to play the second sport of baseball. And didn't they win? Hackett, do you know if they won when he was with the Yankees?
I forget what team he won. I think he won.
I think they won, man. I think they won. I think he won a Super Bowl ring, a baseball pennant. Then he goes into broadcasting. Now he's into coaching. This is, I mean, if any one man can have one of these accomplishments, he's had 4. Okay, he's had 4, and in the process, we have friends that we talk back and forth. There's a group of us. We all talk every day from high school at the table, and we text back and forth 3-4 times a day. We stay in touch. That's our thing.
You said the table?
Yeah, we call it because that's our lunch table.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this table. We stay in touch. So, we were talking, and one of the guys, it came up that he said, well, Deion got to get the bag, And I was like, nah, man, that's, I don't think Deion I'm not saying he couldn't, but I just think he's way more effective as a college coach.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. And then I think some of us did, where I think Deion is at a stage where he's more focused on affecting young men's lives.
Exactly.
Young black, helping to shaping them. And you can do that in the collegiate environment and the high school environment to a certain point, but you cannot really do that in the pros because pros have families they go home to. The pros make too much money, and it's like a different, because I've been in all those spaces. So I think he understands that his calling, and he'll talk about it, that his calling right now is to help affect young men's lives, and he's in a perfect setting to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you're speaking from experience. You've been, you're involved. Heck, how long were you involved in the NBA? For what, 15, 20 years?
I was in 20 years.
20 years.
As a 20 years strength conditioning coach. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you started, with Toronto Raptors. They were a lotto team, and then you went to Dallas.
It was the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yeah, right. Wait. Yeah, that's right. Because then they moved to Memphis. I was okay. That's right.
To the Memphis.
Right. Memphis. So once again, you started from the bottom. Now you went all the way to Dallas Mavericks, and y'all won it. And he was in the White House when Obama was there. He even was able to acquire some ashtrays and other shit he wasn't supposed to take. But you know, that's Hackett. That's my boy. What?
But the tax dollars, man, that's our stuff.
That's right. That's right. You know, we gonna get it. We gonna get it one way. You know.
Had them looking for me, man.
You know. But that's still black on black crime, though, man. You wrong for that, man.
Hey, man.
So,
that wasn't me. That was Leroy, man.
That's
Leroy.
right.
It was
That's
Leroy.
right. Hack. So here's what I also wanted to do because we had a really good discussion, and after this, actually, Hadrian, the reason why after this I want you to talk about your experiences because Hackett, Hadrian's son Harrison, is turning out to be quite a prep phenom here. He's a sophomore, and he plays varsity. 6 foot. What's his weight?
He's 6 feet. He's about 175 pounds.
And he plays fullback, or
he plays a halfback. He's also kickoff return, punt return.
So
and he's definitely doing his thing.
He's starting to get the calls, Hack. So yeah. But I wanted you to kind of give us the rundown about the whole NIL and how that came into play. What you experienced, because Hackett's daughter is a track star herself. Right. She's one. She was top rated in Texas.
She was Texas State champion here, and then top 3 in the nation.
Got it.
She runs like 11.2 in 100 meters out of high school.
Bomb,
so track time.
That's bomb.
Super fast.
Super fast. Well,
but at the same time, I was just in them spaces because I've been involved with youth sports a long time and dealt with Jason Terry's youth basketball team program. So we've been around it for the last 15, like as long as I've been in Dallas, 15, 20 years.
Okay.
And you just see how things change, how the NIL deals come into play and how the recruiting has changed and how social media has changed everything. And what you're kind of hitting on is just, one of the big things what happened was when California actually.
Hackett, wait, hold on a second. I need to explain. NIL, just for people who don't understand, stands for name, image, and likeness. And what it did is basically it cut in the athletes to be able to monetize their image in the arena of advertising and media. So go on, Hack. I just want to be clear of that.
Yeah, and it goes all the way back to Ed O'Bannon.
Right, Ed O'Bannon, UCLA, right.
With when it was marketing in the sport games, they wasn't getting paid, but everybody else was getting paid, and they fought that, right? But it all goes back to, and I think that's why it kind of stemmed out of California. But at the same time, California changed the law where they will allow their athletes to benefit from the NIL deals. So basically, just since they can get paid to perform in college.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was, and long story short, and part of it is my opinion, but if you look at anybody who's experts in this field, the NCAA panicked because they wasn't ready for it.
Right.
So
right, because they were greedy. They were greedy. They should have let they could have slowly ushered that in, but they were greedy. So then the floodgates open. So go on.
The floodgates opened with no real guidelines or rules or regulations to it.
None.
So every state had their own kind of situation how they did it, just like all the states. We in the United States, but everybody do stuff their own way. So it's basically the same thing with this, where certain states put caps and limits on how much an athlete could make, and other states
Wait, what?
So,
what? They put caps and limits in a capitalist society? I wonder why they would do that, Hackett. Do you think if these were young white baseball players, there'd be any sort of caps or limits, my good fellow? Huh?
Oh, no, there hasn't been, because they've been doing this for 30, 40 years already, if not more. Baseball always got paid.
Baseball always got paid, right.
They had no regulations on them. They could go right out of high school and go play pro baseball.
Yeah.
But if you played basketball, you had to go to school for a year.
Right.
You see, so all that comes back around, and now they're getting burnt. And basically, what happened was and part of the Travis Hunter story. That again, I don't know all the details to it, but part of that, because I think he was going to go to Florida or Florida State.
Florida State, Deion's old school.
And then he changed his mind and he went to Jackson State in Mississippi. Mississippi had no cap on what he could do. And so Florida changed their state law because they said, the reason we lost him because he went to Mississippi. But then Travis and Deion claims that no, that ain't why you lost me. I wanted to go play for somebody that's done what I'm trying to do.
Wait, Hackett,
Deion
you
is
said
the best.
Mississippi. You mean Jacksonville. He went to play for
Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson. Yeah,
Because went to Jackson
yeah,
State.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
So
go on.
Mississippi didn't have a cap on how much money he could make in the NIL deals. And also there's a thing called the Austin, I think it's Austin Award. And basically they pay athletes to attend school now.
What?
And oh man, it's a whole different ball game out here, man.
Okay.
It's like the
Yeah,
basically you get a stipend for playing college sports. And basically if you're a full ride scholarship or I think it's 80% scholarship athlete, you get this. And then different conferences have awards that you get just because you in the SEC you get a stipend and stuff like that. And so what happens is now everybody's kind of competing against each other. And then when you start to look at why would USC and UCLA go to the Big Ten?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is you creating something that the SEC schools and the Big Ten, as in Ohio State and Michigan, is saying, why are we sharing our money with all these other schools? Because when you look at the national championships, it's always a Big Ten or SEC school in it,
Right.
in the Final Four.
Right.
Right. And for the last few years, it's been 2 SEC schools almost every year.
Yeah.
So, the Alabamas and Georgias and stuff like that. So what's starting to happen is there's no regulation or rules to what these deals are. And so basically it's the highest bidders almost, which we know the SEC, they always been highest bidders. Even when they had rules, they were the highest bidders.
Mm-hmm.
So you're starting to get that dynamic of what's happening, and then they're trying to figure out how to regulate it. It's like you already opened the door, and now you're trying to pull it back in. And it's like it's a lot of gray area in this stuff. And basically what's happening is you're going to have 2 big super conferences.
So
And
that's where you see this whole end game going. There's going to be basically 2 super conferences.
And because this conversation came up on my daughter's recruiting business.
Okay.
When she was getting recruited, and again, it was just people just talking in general, just how we started talking, and then it'll turn to the NIL deal, then it'll turn to regulations and rules, and it's like there's a gray area, and then it would turn to like the SEC and the Big Ten is saying, why are we sharing? You got all these rules. We don't have to be on the NCAA rules, and they can create their own thing. And basically, what you're almost going to look like is you starting to create these 2 super conferences. That's like, think about the Pac-10. There's no way the Pac-10 should have ever fell apart.
Right.
You got super schools out here.
Yeah.
It's always had success. And even if you probably start digging in national championships with all sports, the Pac-10, you got UCLA and USC and you got schools that always would have been winning.
Yeah.
So how did that kind of fall apart? It's kind of, it doesn't make any sense to the, unless you really, digging into some stuff. But what was, to me, what's starting to happen, and like I said, the conversation came up is, and it makes, now then when you think about it, it makes more sense why UCLA and USC went to the Big Ten. And the SEC was already set. And then the SEC ended up getting Texas and Oklahoma.
Okay.
You got probably all the last 10 national champions in the SEC other than Ohio State.
Damn.
Everybody else is in the SEC.
Yeah.
So they're looking around like, we don't need nobody.
Yeah.
We can play this, and we're
We
playing
eating over here. We eating.
Yeah,
I know what
we
y'all
eating real
doing.
good.
Yeah, we eating over here.
So now you look at the Big Ten with USC and UCLA out there, who's the biggest market in LA, and you put them in a Big Ten, and it's like you got to go all the way over to New York,
Yeah.
Rutgers, or St. John's to play a game. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes no
But
sense.
if we're a superpower, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is our conference. This is
Yeah.
how we're going to do it. We're going to go play the SEC at the end of the day. Everybody else, hey, good luck. Y'all stay with NCAA and see what y'all do with it.
Yeah. So
and these things came up in conversation with people at these schools.
Right.
Like, I didn't know about this stuff. And we were like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, this is what it looks like is going to happen.
Yeah. So listen, Hack, I want to bring Hadrian. So Hadrian, as the parent of a young up-and-coming college athlete, what are some of the conversations that you and your wife are having? What are some of the conversations you're having with your son? what are some of the expectations that as you look for? Because you were telling me the other day, like people are starting to. Because I was asking you, has the recruiting process started for you? So, and you fill me in, like where are you guys at?
I was just saying it was.
And what are you looking for? What are you
I
looking
was
for?
saying it was a little early,
Uh-huh.
but he's a sophomore, but they're starting to trickle in because they're seeing his ability. So basically, I'm just, he's doing things that I never did.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say right now, as a high school athlete, he's way better than me, way better than I have ever been. But I never tell him that.
Right.
It's a podcast.
He knows now.
He knows now.
Right.
So basically, we're just kind of steering them in the right direction, just telling them, you have to think about what you're doing. You have to know about stay on your grades and just look forward to the future. What are you doing now that's going to propel you to where you want to go? Because right now, like you said, with the Deion Sanders phenomenon, he's never forgot about all other schools. He's saying, I want to go to Colorado.
Has he said that?
Yeah.
I was waiting.
That's what
Okay.
he said.
So when he comes, you know where he's going to announce that at. Where he going to announce that at?
He's going to announce it here.
On the Pop Shop.
All right.
On the Pop Shop. On the Pop Shop.
So basically, my wife and I just steering him in the right direction and then making sure that he will be in a position to go wherever he wants to go.
Right. So is there any particular where would you like for him to go? I mean, if you had your brothers.
It's not my journey.
Okay, there you go.
Oh,
Everybody has their own journey.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
He have to make his way. He's going to have experiences that I've never experienced.
Right.
So he has to make that way. We'll be there to guide and direct and give him advice, but it's ultimately his decision.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, I ain't going to school. I already went.
Exactly.
Right. Well, listen, Hack. Is there anything that you want to cap it off with, bro? Because you've been.
But he talked about that because the game has changed, and now it's like you got kids that are getting NIL deals just because of their ability to market themselves.
Yes.
And they might even be better than the other kid, but they have followers.
Yes.
And they getting it.
Yeah, and
so
he's
it's a
built
whole
his
different
following.
ball game.
Oh, he has a following?
He has a following on TikTok. Matter of fact, his school made him take down a post because he called themselves. They won against a team. And they called themselves the something killers, and it went to 300,000.
Oh, snap!
In a matter of hours.
Oh, okay.
And his coach had to call him and let him know you have to take that down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But he's out there now.
He's out there.
They're gonna be looking for, so it's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Well, what schools he go to again?
I can't say that.
You can't say that.
Said what I just said.
Okay.
But I can say it's by the beach.
Okay. All right. It's by the beach, man. Yeah, that's good. Well, listen, Hack. That's right. Hack, we want to thank you so much, man, for coming on the Pop Shop. You are going to be a regular guest here, man. As we move forward, we're going to do some more things about sports and other things. You have opinions about a lot of other things as well, too, Hack. And, I want to wish you and the best, you and your family down there, and all the best to your daughter. And may she continue to strive and grow and shine.
Pleasure meeting you, brother.
And thank you much, brother. And appreciate y'all having me on. And it's an honor because it's like it's just you get to share your experiences because I've been in all the spaces. I've been at the highest levels, and grade school, middle school, high school, college, and the pro.
That's right.
And so you've seen and met a lot of people. And it's funny with the Deion thing because Coach Jay Norvell and Deion, I know both of them.
That's
so
right.
It's kind of funny to me.
That's right.
What's going on? But Jay was at Wisconsin when we was there. Well, actually, when we were students there.
That's right.
He was on Wisconsin football staff, and his little brother played on the football team.
Okay.
And then Deion in the circle of being in Dallas with the pros that when I was working with the Mavericks, they all in kind of that same little circle. So it's kind of cool to see this develop, man. So, but again, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Wish y'all total success.
Absolutely, bro.
Adventure, man.
And you're gonna be back, baby. You're gonna be back. First of many.
Man, I love your things. It's all good. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much, Rack.
All right,
take care. Tell Renee I said hello.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Definitely will. All right.
Bye. So another really good show. I mean, my boy Hack was dropping jewels. Okay, right. He was dropping jewels and picking them up and putting them back and shining them up. So, I think moving forward, man, the marketability, the monetization of the black athlete is come full there's there used to be a time where, you know, the exploitation, I mean, there's always going to be a level of exploitation with any athlete, but the treatment of the black athlete and the, you know, the categorical, what's the word? So basically, they've just been segued and almost legislated out of certain positions. Right. And like I said, to me, it started with quarterback. We could never be considered to be a quarterback. Now we're moving into being a coach. And, you know, we talking about these coaches at some of these big schools are making 9-figure deals. Right. Okay, let's be for real. They're being some 9-figure near, you know. That's true. So, and we never had an opportunity to do that. So,
but I can also add this, that with the NIL, now you're not going to have starving athletes.
That's right. That's right. Preach on it. Come on, preacher.
And then, I guess, but it's also shaking up the game, because if you have someone that's already committed to a college or whatnot when they go in, what's to say that they don't enter the portal the following year if they're not getting playing time? And that's shaking up the game. And like they said, there's no real regulations in this.
Yeah.
So it'll work in favor of the athlete.
Yeah.
But it may not work in favor of the school.
Yeah.
But they need to put caps in.
Yeah.
Or say, well, you can't enter the NIL or the portal after this certain date. So if you haven't done that, you need to stay in place.
Yeah, there's going to have to be some, because I understand. And like I said, to me, it's part of the NCAA because they were greedy for so long, and then they kept people. To me, they should have been paying athletes 25 years ago. They should have. You know, and they could have had some control over it. Yes. But like I said, they kept it, you know, the structure that was in for so long that, you know, people, like I said, the floodgates open here.
It's open.
It's free for
It's open now.
Yeah, it's open now. So, but we're gonna obviously this topic we're gonna come back to. Yes, indeed. We're gonna keep track of your son and wish your son all the best. Yes. And you know,
look out for Harrison Carter.
Harrison Carter. We can check out a game. I'm gonna come check out a game in a minute, man.
Yes, we're gonna send you the info.
Yeah, and so we look forward to more conversations like this. And thank you for joining us for another great episode of the Pop Shop Podcast, number 4. And as we move on, we're going to be talking about some things. We're going to talk about the strikes in this town, Tinseltown. What's happening with the creatives, and once again, labor against management, and you know, trying to get their fair share. So, stay up, stay safe, and we'll be in touch. Pop Shop, ready to talk.
Let's go.
All right.